Today our big topic is stress. What causes it? According to statisticbrain.com, these are the top 5 in the U.S. Coming in at number 5, poor nutrition, followed up by relationships, health, and then money. The number 1 cause, job pressure. Something, as we are seeing on our poll today, many women can relate to. Cynthia?
Yeah, that's right. And sometimes those job pressures, as we know, overflow from work. They can affect your life at home. But today we're learning that that's not a good idea and some different ways to help out with that. We have Mary Shores joining us this morning, a business consultant and CEO of Midstate Collections Solutions. All right, let's jump right in because we have so many people saying that one of the biggest stressors in their life is work. So what are some of the stressors at work that we see?
I think that work can be very stressful when you don't understand what exactly is expected of you. So for example, if someone has a job but they're not really sure how to do the job properly, maybe it could be a training issue or misunderstandings. That can be very stressful.
And so what are some things that maybe you should say to your boss or ask, one of your managers if you're feeling like there's not something that you know exactly how to do?
I think it's a great idea to ask for documented work instructions. If you have work instructions, then you have a system to follow and flow to. I also think it's a good idea just to ask very direct questions and ask for tips and say, how can I be successful at this project, or what equipment systems do I need in order to get this job done? Make sure that you know what your deadlines are and keep in communication at all times. I also think that if there's something that you don't feel that you can accomplish, it would be good to communicate that. So for example, if there's a deadline coming up and it's not realistic, communicating that as early as possible so that you can ask for help would really help lower the stress.
What would you say to people who might think that asking those questions would make them seem like weak employees?
I think that seeing everything as an opportunity for growth is a much better way to perceive that. So it's more of a perception issue. If we're thinking this may make us look bad, which I know could be a common problem, the truth is that hopefully it will make you look good, that you wanted to understand what you're supposed to be doing to the fullest.
Sure. And now we know that everyone at work, carries some stress, and that can be, maybe that comes through in the attitudes of your boss or your other coworkers. How do you cope with that kind of stress when you're feeling it, they're kind of taking it out on you, it might seem like?
I think understanding your coworkers and your boss's strengths and weaknesses so that you can learn how to, if you know why they're doing what they're doing, you can learn how to be the how to their why. So you can understand what their weaknesses are, and you can use that as an opportunity to really help them in that area. At my office, we do a lot to understand everyone's strengths and weaknesses so that we can put them in the best possible position to be successful.
So how are some ways that you can help assess that weakness? Because I'm imagining most people don't want to go up to their boss and say, hey, what's your weakness this morning? So what are some ways that you can kind of pick up on that?
I think that you could ask, where can I best help you with this project? For example, myself as a CEO, I'm a really good creative idea person, but I'm super unorganized. So it's not difficult for my coworkers to see that my desk is disheveled, or I may not remember when my appointments are. So they know that they can help me in those areas. And just, also, for example, some people may not have the best writing skills, or they may have an overabundance of writing to do, so helping them with writing, or just helping in any way that they notice that the person struggles.
Yeah, absolutely, helping kind of build everyone up in that way. Now, what happens when your stress at work can kind of spill over into your home life?
I think that you can have a lot of home problems if you're having stress. So for example, you can, if you're a working woman, then you have all the responsibilities at work, but then you come home and you could feel restless, overwhelmed, because now you still have the responsibility of dinner, homework for children, bath time, laundry, the list of chores never ends. So I think that what I do at home is in some ways I can run my home the same way I run my business. So what I mean by that is I have actual work instructions for my children and for their chores. So a checklist to say, it's Tuesday, it's your job to unload the dishwasher, and it's your job to do this and that, really helps them out, and they get a reward for doing that, as well as there's some things that I do for myself every day. I call them my non-negotiables. So some of it is taking time to be grateful, what I'm grateful for. A couple years ago, I started something with a couple girlfriends called the Power Posse. And all we did every morning was text each other 3 things we were grateful for. And it really made a difference. There's also yoga and exercise, as well as something as simple as taking your vitamins. But a non-negotiable is something that you're going to commit to doing every day, no matter what, for yourself. So it's about self-care.
Okay, and real quickly, some other things that you can do, things you can avoid to make sure that those stress levels don't come home.
Yes, I think that we get into these habits, such as soon as we leave work, jump on the phone and get into a conversation that may end up being a stressful conversation. So just avoiding getting on the phone unless it's going to be a pleasant conversation. Another thing, and I did this and it made a huge difference, was I just made a decision. I'm not going to walk in the door and be on my cell phone. And then I don't have, the phone in one hand and the kids at my legs, but I just decided the phone conversation stops in the car before I get out. And that was really helpful.
All right, very good. Mary Shores, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.